Hello, I'm LaDonna, and today we're going to be talking about the collective approach to human services and leadership. This is going to entail thus far what we have learned throughout the whole continuum of the HSML program. But this is just going to touch briefly on the different competencies. So the first competency is going to be the career development and exploration. So, in the human services professionals empower society by meeting the basic human needs emotionally, physically, and mentally. They work in communities with diverse cultural backgrounds to provide education, resources for families and the homeless, and different other groups. The human service professionals can meet the family needs through active listening to every perception of individuals about the problem and addressing the issue by identifying the underlying issue of the problem at hand. Therefore, human services prepare social workers to qualify for counseling so that families as a whole can get the services. However, you have social services and then you have the human services management leadership. The social service piece of it identifies with the social justice aspect of it. However, the human service professional deals with more of the counseling families, assisting direct, hands on. Some of the um, maybe the aspects of it can be more challenging than other, depending on the demographic, the society, the different cultural people that you're working with. For example, there are those who are you have unemployed and the age, and also people that have special care needs. Some organizations address such needs in society through social services and through human service management and leadership. In order to support these individuals in the different crises that may be going on, the human service professional has to be committed to the work competencies because this will enable them to have the active listening skills, empathetic ability to better serve those who need their services. So, the career development and exploration. These are going to be the professionals in the community centers that provide the direct care and help with the problems that are related to the social health care issue. Employers in the human services sector often seek candidates with good listening skills, objective insight, supportive, sensitive, compassionate, analytical, and creative. I just happen to possess these skills, but I am not a social worker. I am a case manager, a nurse case manager. I've been a nurse case manager for many years. However, I still needed the human service professional piece, and that I have developed while in the course of the empathy part, the not being biased, the not judging. Those pieces is what I had to conquer, which I have done with the human services development leadership course. Another skill is going to be the communication skills. Again, social workers have to communicate in different ways because they interact with diverse people on more of a social justice standpoint. However, the human service leadership professional, she's going to be more of a hands-on as to identifying the underlying issue, perhaps to prevent it from happening again, or to see how we can better help them moving forward to stay on the right track. Um, they are essential to be, it is essential to be clear about the scope of services that are provided as a social worker and or human service leadership by communicating what is within the realm of possibility and reality. So the communication is going to take place between the social worker and or the healthcare, I say healthcare, or the human service leadership professional. Um, They'll be expected to document their activities as they attend the clients and generate reports for third parties such as supervisor and colleagues. Keeping in mind that without the communication skills, it is imperative to have excellent communication skills. Number one, to take back information at hand to better serve or to better see if your colleagues can help the individual. Without the communication piece, without knowing what exactly the true underlying problem is, almost impossible to help anyone, especially someone in need. Employability skills. The number one employability skills that I happen to possess is active listening. That is a major duty of a social worker to listen effectively, whether it's a social worker, whether it's a human service provider, effective listening. And the reason why I happen to possess this skill is because I too have been on the other side of the fence. I have been that same person that needed help for whatever reason, something happened in my life that took me way, way back where I had to get help from others. And so it's important to listen so that you can relate. If you can't listen, if you can't relate, you can't lead because you're not able to serve. And if you've done those things, that is going to um, help you capitalize on leading someone to a resolution. Active listening implies that one be able to reflect the need of the clients by engaging them in every aspect of the conversation to understand them. Again, if you can't understand, if you can't relate, you can't serve, then you can't lead. You can't lead to a resolution. Um, and again, good listening skills create trust. And that is what you want. You want them to be able to trust you because the more that they trust you, the more they're going to feel comfortable. But not only that, the more they're going to give you the real of what's going on and what led to the problem, whether it's their fault or not. Because if they trust you, they're going to feel like that you're not going to judge them. Another one is going to be the personal attributes. Sometimes the personal attribute, we have to kind of decipher um, what is, what we can handle, what we can't handle. A lot of times, if you are someone that is genuine, not everybody, genuine is something that comes from within. You have to, you don't learn it, you don't get it, it's genuine. And a lot of times for the human service professionals, we feel like the work is never complete. The reason why we feel like the work is never complete is because we feel like there's always a resolution. There's always something that can be done, even when it looks grim. There's always something that can be done to help that one individual. And I guarantee you, in this line of work, there's always going to be one, two, three, four, five, maybe even six individuals that you're going to say, oh, they need my help. And you're going to strive to do whatever you can if you have it genuine. So a lot of times people think that it's stressful. And a lot of times we, as people, we have a hard time differentiating, the emotional, the physical, the spirituality, and different work from home. So you have to learn to separate the two. You have to set limits a lot for the clients and for yourself, and you also have to set boundaries. What can you do? What is really realistic? What kind of help can you really, really provide them that's going to be best for them, and just not for now, but for the long run, the long haul. Establishing that and a conducive balance between the two will help you better serve the professional, which I feel like has helped me better serve the professional. And also, again, because I've been there. And I think that is the one thing that because I have been there, I've been that person that went from six figures to less than $2 in my bank account in 30 days time because a job closed. So being able to relate and just knowing that there is someone that will listen to you and help, I think that's going to be that's one of my attributes that I want to give back to. Moving on, ethics and values. So if we're going to move on to ethics and values, tenets of social work are ethics and values because they form the basis of the work. That is going to be the foundation. What can you do? What can you not do? What is a ethical dilemma? What do you value? What do you value for yourself? Even not just for the company, but what are your values as a person? You have to understand the mechanical effects of personal values and beliefs on clients from different cultural backgrounds. But just respect, morals, integrity. What are you going to do when someone's not looking? Are you still going to do the right thing, even if it's sometimes the hardest thing is to do the right thing, and that's what a human service leadership management professional should be able to do is the right thing, no matter what, even if it's the hardest thing, the right thing. And sometimes that may be turning away someone that you really, really, really need to help, but for some reason, they may not meet the criteria, or 2 plus 2 isn't adding up to 4. There's all kind of things, but ethics and values is going to be the number one thing to go for yourself before you can help someone else. Moving on to cultural competence. Cultural competence and cross-cultural awareness are part of the organizational process. This is useful to understand social issues from the perspective of the client, not your perspective, because you have to keep in mind that the clients have a perspective, even if it is not accurate, even if it's not correct, even if it is false, it is still their perspective. And if it is their perspective, then we have a duty. If it's the wrong perspective, we have a duty to change that perspective within reason for that client. Additionally, competency is vital since social workers and or health um, human service workers have to attend the perspective regarding cultural identity. And that's going to go from shaking someone's hand to looking them, straight forward in the eye. Some cultures believe that, looking them in the eye is disrespect. Some people, you shake their right hand, they believe that that's a sign of disrespect. So just, I want to recap on the things that, I have touched briefly on. Human service professionals are always confused. Sometimes human service professionals get confused with HR professionals. However, successful performance in these departments requires similar skills, although they are very different. Human service professionals are composed of social workers, care providers, community workers, human service leader workers who offer direct services or guide people toward available services. Human service professionals help society to work effectively in the key domains of life. Social work and human service carriers have several common aspects. For instance, social work carriers are grouped as human service alongside other professions such as counseling. Like social work, human services are concerned with the family, the individual, social justice. Human services, they are more concerned with improving the quality of life, coordinating services through multidisciplinary approaches. Consequently, the professions of such exclusive justice create an overlap between the responsibilities of experts working in the human service departments. However, there are differences among work competencies, and it is equally important for organizations to have effective leadership skills in order to understand the financial challenges of running the organization, including managerial skills that can attract diverse teams. This is going to be more geared to the human service leadership team. The endless growth and development are important in human services because it maintains the excellence of staff while supporting their missions, which will tie to the ethics and the values. Therefore, there are several meanings of developing skills and abilities, and this will help understand the job content of the staff, including risk-taking opportunities, as well as ensuring that responsibility levels are needed, which is what I have gained throughout the HMSL classes that I have taken. So we talked about the character development exploration. So just kind of wanted to let you know that some of the social work perform similar roles of those of chancellors. Thus, the typical career path is social work school, case management, and or domestic violence and or help in the community. Communication skills. So the social workers have to communicate. We communicate in different ways, but the social worker again touches on the social justice aspect, whereas the human service leader is going to be more of the hands-on, the everyday resolution, and it could be homeless people, it could be healthcare, it could be no lights, no water, no gas, just different community services. The process is explored and written, and you have to have a good process as far as written verbally to just because you have to do reports, and that's going to be for the social worker and the human service leader. Moreover, communication takes place between the social workers such as healthcare providers, and they will be expected to document their activities as they intend to clients and generate reports for third parties such as the supervisor and the colleagues. So just kind of wanting to recap the difference. The human service professional, they serve to require to communicate effectively with people from different ethnic backgrounds, socioeconomic status, and races. The common bond among them is communication either verbally or non-verbally. The human service professional who easily adapts to a communication style that suits the client is going to be more effective because, again, this client is going to trust this human service worker. And trust is going to be the very, very key thing because when they trust you, they will open up more and give you a more truthful insight to what really is going on, what the really need is, how that need became so, and the underlying problem. And they're going to be receptive to what you're going to tell them as feedback to take them to the next step to be successful for the long haul. So again, I just kind of wanted to let you know that, I've enjoyed this course thus far. I look forward to the next presentation. Um, and just another recap is, just if you could take something with you, just know that if you can't leave, if you have not served, if you're not willing to serve, or if you won't serve. And that is my presentation. I hope it goes well.